Hey, what's up gamers? You have Tiger Chainsaw here, and today I am talking about PS4 hidden gems. Now the PS4 was the first console that I bought when I got my first big boy job. I had to reward myself somehow and I couldn't think of a better way than to buy the PS4. Now since then, I have collected tons and tons of games for this awesome console. And these 10, I feel, are hidden gems that need to be shared and discussed, which is what I am doing with you guys today. Now if this is your first time on my channel, or if you just haven't yet, make sure you hit that sub button to watch plenty of retro video game content and other hidden gems video game lists. Let's jump into this PS4 hidden gems list, starting with a shoot 'em up. I love a good shoot 'em up, and this game totally surprised me. It's got mechs, it's got crazy, chaotic action on the screen. This game is going to be Acebreed. Acebreed, Asbreed, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce this game, but either way, it's plenty of fun. Now it is plenty of fun, and this is a good game, but I gotta warn you guys, it is a little bit short. In fact, it's really short, but that doesn't take away the fact that it's a really good game. I love the presentation with the anime storytelling and the non-stop action that comes with this gameplay. I loved finding my rhythm with this game, and you can kind of get into a groove with all the chaos on the screen. It does a lot of cool things, and hey, don't worry if you suck at shoot 'em ups, because it has a great tutorial to get you ready for this game. If you love shoot 'em ups, or if you are thinking of trying them out, Asbreed or Acebreed, someone please correct me and tell me how to pronounce this game, but whatever you call it, this is a must-play hidden gem on the PS4 if you love shoot 'em ups. From an anime-style shoot 'em up to a cutesy platformer, let's check out A Hat in Time. Old school retro platformers from the late 90s and early 2000s, well, A Hat in Time perfectly captures that style of fun and really makes for a great playthrough. There's so much creativity in these level designs, and the game just oozes of charm. The people that have played this game can't stop talking about it, and I am right there with them. I want any fan of platformers to check this game out, as it's one of the best platformers of the last decade. When I was playing this game, it made me feel like a kid. It made me feel like I was 10 again with the charm of this game. And it just reminded me of all the great platformers from the 90s and early 2000s that I played as a kid. And any game that can do that is worth owning and playing. A Hat in Time is a very charming platformer that's a PS4 hidden gem. If you are looking for a game simply based on awesome gameplay, I got you covered. Victor Vran. If you've got any love for dungeon crawlers, you need to play this game. Whether you play this in single player or multiplayer, there's tons of action RPG elements to keep you entertained for hours. The missions are tons of fun and will have multiple objectives as you play through them, and you'll be facing tons and tons of enemies on the screen. It's crazy how many of them will actually gang up on you, but you do have plenty of power in your weapons to defend yourself and make your way through the level. Now if you want a game with great presentation, look elsewhere. But if all you care about is awesome gameplay, Victor Vran definitely has you covered there. It's got a lot of action and a lot of old school dungeon crawling. Kind of think Diablo. To me, Victor Vran is an overlooked PS4 hidden gem. Up next, let's check out a game that has built an awesome sci-fi world. I'm talking about Star Renegades, and I love the atmosphere and the sci-fi vibes that the developers put into this game. Star Renegades is a roguelite with a super fun battle system. It can be a challenging game, don't get me wrong, but you'll have plenty of maps to explore, plenty of heroes to use, and the turn-based combat is really satisfying. You can keep playing the game over and over to unlock a ton of different things, and that's definitely encouraged by the developers. I also love the old school graphics for this game. If you love challenging roguelites with a lot of replay value, Star Renegades should definitely get your attention. So I've talked a couple of indie titles so far in this PS4 Hidden Gems video, but how about we look at some hidden gems from some bigger developers and well-known publishers? Let's check out one of my all-time favorites. This next entry is going to be Prey. Now, I don't really know why it didn't get a ton of attention when it was released. I don't know if the name confused people with another game that was released a few years earlier, but Prey does a lot of good things that deserve your attention. For instance, it's kind of a suspenseful, horror-esque game. There's this mechanic in it where there's mimics and they can disguise themselves as any objects or furniture, and then they'll attack you. So you always have to watch your back, and you always have to investigate these objects that may or may not be enemies. It's a solid suspense game, and there is some cool puzzle solving elements to it. I remember there's this foam gun where you have to shoot it all over and the foam hardens, and then you can kind of climb to other areas in the station. It really had me hooked once I got into the game. Prey also has a lot of really fun combat. You're going to be battling those mimics like I said, but you have some really nice weapons to dispose of these enemies. This is probably a pretty cheap game right now. I'm sure it's less than $10, so I highly encourage you guys, if you like suspenseful games, if you like games with a little bit of horror into it, check out Prey. It's a really great adventure.
I have the sense he admires.
Let's talk about another game that was put out by a big publisher that is tough as nails. That game is Code Vein. Now the combat is going to mirror the Soulsborne genre, so if you like that, you have to check out this game. Now Soulsborne games have this dark feeling and atmosphere about them. Code Vein, while it does have a little bit of that, it also has a lot of hot, big titty anime girls, and honestly, it works. The character designs are definitely a plus in this game, and it's fun to interact with all the other characters in the hub world as you prepare to go on your next mission. I remember this really vivid shot of me in a hot springs overlooking this chaotic world that's been torn apart, but I was with my party members, and it was just really scenic, and it was just a special touch to this game. There are tons and tons of weapons to choose from. You can also change your style, whether you want to be slow and heavy offensively or quick and nimble. It's going to have your play style. But I gotta warn you, this is no easy game. This is a very tough game. But you can play it in co-op, so maybe that will help. But be warned, there are some extremely tough boss fights. So make sure you master those mechanics that they try and teach you, because they will definitely come in handy. Code Vein, if you want a challenge, if you want a Soulsborne-like hidden gem on the PS4, you're gonna find it with Code Vein. Alright, I just was talking about anime girls, and this next entry also includes them. But in this game, you can date them. How about a light action JRPG with plenty of romance options? If you like that, then Sakura Wars is definitely one that you should pick up and play. Combat is definitely not the strong suit of this game, but it doesn't have to be, because there's a lot of great other portions to this game. What it lacks in the combat, it more than makes up for with the character development. It has some wonderful character arcs and lovable characters in this game. I typically prefer more action in my games, but Sakura Wars was so compelling that it made me keep playing through it. Don't get scared away by all the romance or the dating sim aspect of this game. It does have battles, there is action, but it does a great job of combining all of those elements to create a hidden gem on the PS4. It looks great too. The color palette on this game is just superb. So if you want to date some girls and battle some mechs, Sakura Wars is one you need to check out. Can you believe I'm about to put in a movie tie-in game on my PS4 Hidden Gems list? Well, I am, and that's going to be Mad Max. I try and stay away from video games based on movies as much as possible, but Mad Max completely shattered the stereotype of games based on movies being bad. The level design is superb and the gameplay is really addicting. I loved the open world with all the explosions and the combat. There's just so much action to play through. If you follow my channel, you do know that I am obsessed with monster trucks and demolition derbies, and Mad Max incorporates that style of driving in its open world, which I could not get enough of. Here's another example of a good video game based on a movie. Go check out Mad Max. Alright, Yakuza fans, this one is just for you. If you love the Yakuza series, but you've played through all of them, I've got a game that will quench your thirst for that Yakuza style action. If you love Yakuza games, you gotta play Fist of the North Star: Lost Paradise. It has a lot of similarities between the two series, but it's not as polished as the Yakuza series, but you can still find plenty of fun with all the mini games, the collectibles, and of course the brutal beat 'em up combat. If you love over-the-top gore, you are going to dig this game, as the combat has awesome payoffs from the beatdowns you give these guys. I'm talking about blood splurting all over, decapitations, your fist going through dudes' chests. If you love that stuff, you're gonna love this game. It's an open world and there's so much to explore and tons of missions to complete in this franchise rebooter. Over-the-top action sums up this PS4 hidden gem.
Auto 100 Fist Rush!
You're already dead.
Now this final game on my PS4 Hidden Gems list might be the most unique. I'm talking about Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Before there was It Takes Two and A Way Out, there was Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons that was made by the same creator. So if you've played those previous games, you know what you can expect with this one. But what's so brilliant about this game is the controls, as you control one brother with each joystick, on their way to find a cure for their sick father. It's more of a puzzle game than anything else, with some exploration elements, but the platforming, the solving of how to escape or how to proceed to the next area is really satisfying. And not to mention, there's a really heart-wrenching story entwined in this entire game. It definitely tells you the power of family and how important it is. Now it's short though, so don't expect a long adventure. You can beat this game in about 4 hours, but it's a great game and it's well worth that time. So that was my list of PS4 hidden gems. Which one of them have you played, or which one of them do you want to play now? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're typing away, why don't you recommend me a couple PS4 hidden gems of your own? I would love to read them and potentially get them into my collection. Now if you haven't yet, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel to help me grow, and I've got plenty of retro video game content and other hidden gem lists on this channel. Happy gaming. Thanks for watching.